No Twitter.
All right. Hello there. We are a little bit behind schedule, but we are here. I got to hit live on TikTok, I guess, here. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear us and all that good stuff. So, yes, hello.
And what are we going to talk about on today's live?
Are talking about the Lightship. You get to talk and we get to listen.
Okay, it was great.
Oh, period. That's it. No, we want to answer your guys' questions about the Lightship. We want to answer, we want to hear your thoughts on the Lightship. We want to see all of that stuff because we are, we sent Steve out to South by Southwest in Austin this past weekend. And let me tell you, it was, 80, almost 90 degrees in Austin, Texas, as I'm driving kids to their ballet in a snowstorm. So I was not jealous at all. Number one, that he got to see a Lightship. Number two, that he got to see a Rivian Amazon delivery van.
Yeah.
And number three, that he was in warm weather. So.
An ID Buzz.
An ID Buzz, all this stuff.
It was well worth it.
Yes. So.
And went for about a 3-hour walk on Sunday before I got on the plane.
Yeah,
it was nice. I did miss you a lot.
Well, oh, thanks. I'm so glad. You got to sleep without anybody interrupting you.
I didn't really sleep much.
I know you.
I got in at 3 a.m. on Saturday morning, and then was at the Lightship booth at 9:30, something like that. So not much sleeping.
Yeah.
And then, plus you're in a different place, so it's hard to sleep for me anyways. So.
Hello, everyone. Orlando and Colorado checking in over here. So that's fun stuff. I don't have any places from over here yet. But okay, so my first question is...
We haven't even talked too much about it, to be honest.
I know, we really haven't. That's just, life has been crazy. Our dance studio is moving, so we are really helping a lot with that because we have the opportunity to, and we want the girls to get in and have dance after spring break. So I haven't had a chance to talk about it much, but okay. So initial thoughts when you first saw it, what was your very first impression?
Yeah, just right away how it had that automotive design. It almost looked like a car, or that look, I guess. And so even when it was in camp mode, so it's got two different modes, a drive mode and a camp mode, where it comes down on top of each other during drive mode and then it raises up during camp mode. And so it was raised up. I did not get to see it go from road mode to drive mode or drive mode?
Road mode. They call it road mode.
Road mode to camp mode. So it was already up, and so it was just looked like a car. Like the windows were inset, and it just had that look of a car, I guess. And so it was really cool to initially see right away, and you could tell that it was going to have all the wraparound windows and everything, and so it just looks very sleek and very, very cool, I guess. Yeah. And so that was the initial impressions. And anyways, I got right to work almost immediately, shooting some videos and stuff, because there wasn't as many people there right away. And so I wanted to kind of beat the crowd.
Yeah.
And so I honestly didn't even go inside for a little bit. So.
Really?
Yeah.
So we have our first question, which was, what about the wet bath? How's the space in the shower?
And
it has a separation, right? So it's not really technically a wet bath. There's going to be separation between the shower and the rest of the bathroom.
There was a, what was that called? Like a divider of some sort that came down. They did not demonstrate that at the time. And so, anyways, so there will be a divider in there for the wet bath, and there's potential that
not a wet bath then for the shower.
Sorry, yeah, for the shower, and they have a, what's that called? Where I'm drawing blank, where the
rain shower?
Yeah, rain
Okay.
shower. Yeah, and so then they're potentially going to have a wand that goes outside, and so then you can have an outdoor shower. Yeah, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And if you see some of their pictures online, it shows that wand, but it wasn't there. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but this is like a prototype. So it's not, this is not exactly what would be coming to market, but obviously they're going to try to make it as close to it as possible.
Is it prototype or it's not?
I saw prototype somewhere.
Okay.
I don't remember if it was on something from them though or not, but it's not a production model.
Yeah, it's maybe pre-production.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they were talking about going through and doing the production process now, like working on production for it.
Nice.
So, yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah. So the camp road to mode road is a concern if it gets stuck, if there's an override, or a way to lock it if it's stuck, so it doesn't go down while you're in there if there was an issue. Did they talk anything about any of that? No. I would assume, though, that there's going to be some sort of hand crank, so if something goes wrong, like you can crank it.
Yeah, maybe they did talk about that, and I just, there's a lot of questions I know that are going to be out there, and I am, not always. I ask a lot of questions, but I don't ask as many questions as the internet asks.
Yeah, well, and you're very, conversationalist, so you're going to be talking, more to them about, how they came up with the design or why they did a certain thing rather than, getting the details of it, thinking of the things that you're not,
And as I walked away from there, I did think of a lot more questions that I would have asked, but, it's, I don't know. This is really the first time that we've kind of been one of the first people on something too, and so, and it kind of appears like, one of the few that produced a video on it, and so, there's a lot of questions that I know need to be answered. So
and we also, I think from seeing it and the questions that we were asking each other, and he would send me stuff and ask about what else he should ask, and I think we really got wrapped up in the camping portion of it and the things that they had done to be creative in that realm, whereas we were they'll work out all the details. Okay, where's
that's
this?
Exactly
where's that?
Right. It was all camping. That's where our mind went, was all about the camping side, and this is a kind of a vehicle that's going to be going down the road. So it's combining both of those.
Yeah.
And so I think that there are some elements that I missed asking.
Yeah.
So.
And we'll figure it out for ourselves, and we'll try to be in contact with Lightship some more along the way and find answers to those questions when we can. So the undercarriage is definitely exposed, right? Fully exposed. Do you know if they were going to do anything about that, or if that is how they were going to leave it?
Oh, I doubt they'll leave it that way, but I guess I didn't ask.
Yeah. I mean, I because it is going to be rated for 3 seasons, and to me that is going to be some sort of enclosed underbelly anyway.
Yeah, so, I don't know why you would leave that exposed.
Yeah, because you would need to put that.
I'm sure they wanted it that way so people could see what was underneath there.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, that's my thought.
So that people could know, they put batteries in it. It wasn't just an empty shell of a camper. There was batteries and a drivetrain and all that stuff. So, but and potentially, I think they are. A lot of people are saying that it looks like it's built for going boondocking, going off-road, doing those sort of things. So it wouldn't surprise me if down the road they have air suspension and a underbody protection like a Rivian does, like you were saying.
That's true.
That those would be options that you could add if you wanted to add them, so that to do with the camper what you wanted to do with it. So
and they did say that I can't remember specifically what size the tires were, but the tires and wheels on it were pretty beefy. And because if you look at some of the shots, the promo shots that they have, they're in some pretty off the beaten path areas, and they were they were surprised, according to them, how well it handled all that.
Nice.
And so, you know, because I did see some comments about people saying clearance and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
you know, they did talk about some of those shots that they took it to. It seemed to handle, you know, the not off-roading, I don't know how to put it, but
yeah. I mean, it was off, you know, on a road, but it was like an off-road path. You know, that's what it looked like in the pictures and stuff. So would you trade your Airstream for this? That is a question that we are trying to answer among ourselves because we see two really good, we see a use for the Airstream and we see a use for the Lightship. Lightship would be fantastic if we wanted to get far and get there fast because you have further range. You know, it's not even really our favorite way to travel anymore, though. We do like to slow down and go a little bit slower, but if there was an event that we wanted to get to cover it or whatnot and wanted to bring the camper, the Lightship would easily make that much more possible than towing the Airstream would. I think that if we went like to the Airstream rally this summer that we're going to, that we could make it with the Lightship, but that we could not make it with the Airstream without having to stop for an overnight stop. So there's definitely the advantages for the Lightship. For long-term trips, like going for, if you were going to do a trip that was 2, 3, 4, or live in the camper, you know, like for months at a time or live in it, I don't think that this particular version of the Lightship is going to be super set up for that. I mean, without having been in it, what do you think after having been in it?
Yeah, I don't, you know, long-term living, no, probably not.
Yeah, because there's no separated rooms and stuff. But, you know, for us, this is the starting point for Lightship. This is their first camper. So what are they going to come up with down the road?
And they're talking about getting some separation.
Yeah.
In there, it'd obviously be some form of temporary separation or
like
something like that is
yeah.
what I gathered from talking to the team there. But they've realized that there needs to be some separation in there.
Yeah.
So I think that's on their radar. There's a lot of stuff that's on their radar. You know. So
I guess, you know, one of the things that we can share is that when they came out to the Charged rally in October, and we sat down and they had a round table with us. Like, they just wanted us to sit down, so us and all of the people that attended the rally, and they just wanted to find out what makes a camper great. What are other companies missing out on? What are they not putting in their camper that they should have in their campers? You know, that kind of a thing. So they really they want to figure out how to build a good camper that people will love.
Yeah.
And I mean, looking at it, I saw some of the things that we were talking about in that room, and saw the innovation and the cool stuff. You know, I think a lot of people were talking about storage. Well, they have that cool modular storage that you can customize however you want it. So like a kid could have a bag and they take it out and they pack their bag and then you just go hang it on the wall then for overhead storage, which is super cool. Like I love that idea. And yeah,
they're talking about all sorts of stuff like for, you know, potential fishing poles there, kayaks, like all sorts of stuff that they're talking about making, you know, for those, that overhead storage.
Yeah.
So it's definitely on the radar. They're even talking about looking into different ways of transporting bikes and things like that. So, you know, their head is in the right place with thinking of what campers want, people that go camping. So I do like that. It was nice to see that they did have that soon-to-be pass-through storage in the front of it, just like a, you know, typical camper. You call it a basement, right, or whatever.
Well, I think that's really more in like the fifth wheels where they call it a basement, but the pass-through.
Anyways, the pass-through up front, so there will be some outside storage, which you'll need, you know, just for various tools and things like that you don't want inside. But yeah, the windows that popped up on the side and the back, that was just super cool.
Yeah. Well, like so much airflow and stuff that's going to be able to come through that. And then the glass, what do they call it? Why can't I think of the word right now? Where you just push the button and they go to where you can't see through them anymore. But yeah, it was so cool. So waiting for a larger model that has some Pottery Barn. I think that, I hope that they'll get there, and maybe even eventually, maybe they wanted to show off in the beginning, so they're giving us a really super aerodynamic, 3 times, as aerodynamic version, and then they'll produce more as we get on that maybe aren't as aerodynamic, but provide more of like the different types of features that people may want. Yeah. So, and we have not seen the Airstream in person. The E-Stream is they have one, and it's been at shows and stuff, but we have not gone to see it yet.
Yeah, is it a concept, though? I don't know.
It is still considered a concept, but they are supposedly going to bring it.
And they did like a Porsche design thing with it, but it was like a third the size or something?
Well, no, so that's a different one. So the E-Stream is the first.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I said they did a Porsche in Airstream design one.
Yes.
And I did see that one. That was small and stupid.
Just because it wasn't like a real model to go into.
Well, yeah. I mean, they made it. Anyways.
Yeah.
It did say that it was a smaller version, but in the wording, it made it seem like you were going to see something pretty epic.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
It's not, but.
We're kind of jumping around now.
Right. So I don't know that Lightship would make a motorhome, but there are some companies, like Winnebago has made a Class B camper that is all electric. Supercharged Camper has been out testing that out, so you should go check out those guys on
Instagram. Right?
Yeah, on Instagram, because they are testing it out on Instagram.
The RB2.
Yes, so that's there.
But they have the to get back to the Lightship, the rear flip up window in the bathroom, is a mirror. So when that's folded down, you got this huge mirror, and it's got LED lights that go around it. That's just beautiful. They're using a lot of recycled plastics, not only in the countertop in the bathroom, but they're using some in the flooring. They're being very eco-friendly in a sense, thinking about that.
Yes.
It's an automotive design on the outside and the structure, but on the inside they have, I believe her name is Jessica. She comes from the what do you call that? Anyways, airplane design, like interior design of that. And so you can really see that with the LED kind of accent lighting that's in the ceiling that goes all the way around. And they're going to do some cool stuff with that, and it just is beautiful, like that aspect of it. It's not your typical like puck lights that you have in a camper, those sorts of things. And they have UI, that's integrated into an app that can control it. It'll be able to raise up and down the camper. It'll tell you how full your black gray tanks are, your batteries. All that stuff.
So it's electrochromatic glass. Sorry, I won't interrupt you anymore.
Go ahead.
No, it was called electrochromatic glass. Yeah. So, but yeah, the app. So that was another question. Was yes, there'll be an app that you can connect to and stuff. Yeah, we did trade in the F-150 for the R1S. Don't break Steve's heart over there on TikTok. I like how they're using a mini split for the AC, also for heat, right? Yes. So the mini split provides the air conditioning and the heat.
Yeah. And so they're gonna potentially move into more of an automotive mini split, which will give them more freedom to like distribute that. So they're looking into that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's gonna be really cool how it is. It's just going to help you get to a whole lot of different places. I think one thing that's really important to talk about, because, everybody sees a price tag of over $100,000 and they just go, oh, yeah, whoa. But a new Airstream costs $100,000 or more, right? So to go get a longer Airstream, you're going to be in at $100,000 or more. And they are... and the Airstream does not have an 80 kilowatt hour battery. It does not have 3,000 watts of solar on the roof. It does not have an electric drivetrain. And it doesn't have the electrochromatic glass. It, you know, it doesn't have, there was something else that I was like, most of them don't have dishwashers, you know? So I really think when you think about all of those things, it's really a big, like they have really done pretty well on their price point for the Lightship.
Yeah, for all that you're getting. It'll be interesting to see. They didn't say any of this, but I just wonder if they'll offer one that doesn't have a drive on it, because that 3 times more aerodynamic is, you know, that's based off of a traditional camper like an Airstream, and so like just that alone would get you further down the road. So like even if you just had a 20 kilowatt hour battery in there that you could last a while with, you know, 1,000 watts of solar, like that would still be, you know, super awesome. Like,
and they can option so many different things if they really want to make those,
to make the price points more appealing to people. So that'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. And once again, they didn't talk about any of that stuff. That's just some of the stuff I thought about later. It's pretty interesting.
Lots of questions on the insulation and all of that stuff. And so it is going to be rated for 3 seasons. So
well, they said that they're going to advertise it as 3 seasons.
3 seasons,
so
okay.
I don't know if that means rated or...
Yeah.
I don't know how you rate these things.
Yeah,
so
I don't know either. But so
I'm not a camper expert in rating seasons.
So, and I'm assuming that's probably a big piece because of all of the glass and stuff.
Well, it's the glass, and then let's be honest, like when you're running totally off of heat and they want, or, you know, off of electricity, like you're going to have to be hooked up to survive in those areas, because we all know heat is less efficient when you're using electricity. So that's kind of a problem too. So like I think that's, you know, part of it as well, why you would just advertise 3 seasons campers. Because then you gotta warm the battery up too and all that stuff. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's just less efficient.
It is.
This is a reality.
Okay, so the cushions on the like bed and stuff, so that front area, was that like a micro, or a memory foam like mattress that was on that front portion, or what?
I guess I don't know.
Oh, you didn't sit on it?
No, I sat on it, but I guess it was memory foam on top, and then I believe they were talking about some more dense foam down below, and that's kind of where this special design person came into play. So
okay.
They used like I can't remember, like some of the softer foam, and then it's more dense underneath. It was multi-layered, so it felt better.
Okay,
so
that's good to know.
Yeah, and it's supposedly going to last longer, it hold up a lot better too.
So I think advertises 3 seasons. I don't think it's that they don't trust their battery monitoring system. I think that it means that, because when you're talking about an RV, that's talking about if you're going to be able to regulate the temperature within the camper itself. And so potentially could be some of the batteries, but I would think it was more like the whole like combination of all of it, not necessarily
their
it
has anything to do with
BMS.
Yeah. But
because again, this is like it's a new world, right? You're combining the EV with the RV, so to rate it, eventually there may need to be a different scale for one that has propulsion and batteries and stuff versus a traditional RV. But I would think it would more relate to this actual just RV side of it than the drive portion of it. So
and so the power inlet for it is going to actually be a J1772, and that's just for your regular outlet. So you just plug what we have now as a travel charger into the 50 amp, or you have an adapter down to a 30 amp, and then you plug that into the camper. And so then with the J1772, just like charging an EV, and that's how it gets its power.
So there's one cord. There's not a cord for powering the camping and powering the. It's just one cord.
Yes. So.
I like that. Good choice. Good
yeah.
choice there.
So it's got the CCS hookup for the DC fast charging.
Okay.
But you just plug the J1772 in.
So it would be a 50 amp unit. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it may be up to it depends what onboard charger they have in there. You may be able to pump 48 amps in there. So it's not going to be your traditional camper plug-in that everybody's so used to. So that'll...
No, it'll definitely be different. But, good by me.
Yeah, that's what... I mean, think about it. You have such a large battery pack in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean... They're potentially going to have, well, not potentially, I believe this is going to be on the front part of it so you can charge your car off of it.
Yes.
So, I mean, then it's going to be able to regulate the power that's coming through the pedestal and do that properly. So it'll actually be better for, campgrounds and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so you can essentially plug in one cord to charge your whole getup, right? So you would have your Lightship plugged into the pedestal, and then you would have your EV plugged into the Lightship, and then just charge everything that way. And I mean, they know this piece, right? The founders came from Tesla, so I think that they probably will figure out a way to tell it if you want to send most of the power to the car. Like, hey, I need to charge my car. Yeah. Send the power onto the car, but just keep the camper running. I would think that feature would be included in it.
Yeah.
So, somebody was asking if you could have a drive unit in a trailer, and I can't speak to that. I don't know, but considering that there's now multiple designs coming with trailers with the propulsion systems in them, I'm assuming
in a trailer,
so that you can't have a trailer that propels itself.
I'm confused.
That you can't put a motor in a trailer. That it's illegal to put a motor in a trailer to help.
Currently?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, but
well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I know that's what they're doing.
I'm confused by the question then.
So they think that it's illegal to do that they are building an illegal trailer, basically.
I take that up with them. I don't know.
Yeah. No, and I have never seen that, and Airstream has one now, and then Lightship.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if
maybe it's got to be classified differently. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different.
Maybe you know more than we do.
Yeah, and we could be completely wrong and it is a thing. I did try to do some research.
Legislation.
Yeah, I did. I did do a little bit of research on it. And I couldn't find anything, but so I don't think that that's the case. But again. That was my little bit of research that I was able to do that I could not find anything on that statement. So
I would hope they didn't pump in millions and millions of dollars into something that's illegal.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's and so a lot of questions too about isn't it dangerous to have the camper pushing the tow vehicle along. And rest assured that it will not be pushing the tow vehicle along. So they have, we don't know, there hasn't been specifics yet on how it controls it, but it's going to know that it's putting pressure on the tow vehicle, and then it would stop putting pressure on it. It would let off or whatever. So we don't know how that's going to be, but again, really, really smart people when you sit down and talk to them and you start talking and you're yeah, I know lots of things. And then you're oh, no, you guys have thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, bypass the camper battery and charge the truck directly. That would be a clean solution. Yeah, I think hopefully that would be all built in. And again, they are thinking about this. I would not be surprised if somebody at Lightship doesn't watch this live stream and see what comments come up. So, they want to put out a product that is going to do what we want.
Appealing and, is right for the masses. And so ask all the questions and, put everything in there because, anyways, I'm assuming they'll read them and, evaluate them and see if it's possible. And so I definitely would. Yep.
We do not know of any other brands that are are like putting an EV towable trailer besides Airstream. So Airstream now has 2 concept designs that include some sort of assist.
One that's actually real.
Yes. So the eStream, which is actually real. Toy. The other is a toy. Maybe it will come to production, or maybe it won't. I don't know. Whatever. But
it'd be cool. I would love it.
And then Lightship. But I think that now that Airstream has done it, and now there's another company, I would not be surprised if we don't start seeing other companies trying to design trailers that have assist as well. Kind
of how I see the vision of moving forward is you have Lightship, who is a bit like Tesla in a sense. They're, gonna change how things are looked at in the camping world. Whether people are going to like that or not, it is what it is. But they're going to make other companies reevaluate what they're doing. And maybe it's through this automotive design that's going to make these campers last a long time or whatever, putting battery and motor underneath of it so it can assist you down the road and be more efficient, whether you're driving a gas or diesel or any of that. And so they're going to be kind of like Tesla, that are new and innovative and change. And then you're going to have Airstream, maybe even, go to Winnebago when they kind of perfect their stuff, whatever they're doing, where it's going to be the same camper. You shove some batteries and a motor underneath it and help you down the road. So how I view that is Tesla is Lightship, and the Ford Lightning is going to be Airstream and potentially Winnebago. I haven't
your
heard
legacy
anything about them.
RV companies.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And they're just shoving it underneath there to help people to not piss their base off and. What? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know.
So it keeps the camper the same, and it's just. It's not changing the design too much. And so that's my thought on it. I have no clue if that's actually what's going to happen. That's what's happened in the EV world. And so I think that's what will happen in the camping world. But
I think so too. We'd love, so just looking at some of the other, comments, having it fit into the garage. Potentially, eventually they could.
27 foot?
It's 27 feet.
Yeah.
So, it's low enough. It's 6 feet 9 inches.
Yeah, it's totally low enough.
It would just be if they started making.
8.5 wide is that.
Excuse my phone here. Stop. Why I didn't have my phone on quiet? Well, because usually I turn it on silent, but life was a little
8.5 feet wide, I think, is too wide for a garage.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Unless you have a double wide, but
yeah.
If they
That's
come up with some shorter
garage,
versions, short versions, then potentially eventually it would. So there are other aerodynamic brands, but again, I think you're going to be a lot closer to like an Airstream level of aerodynamics, probably a little bit better.
The ballast, that's even more aerodynamic than the Airstream.
But I don't think it's not going to be 3 times as aerodynamic.
Yeah, and all these things kind of boil down to, like, we hear all these comments about, it's not big enough, and then you talk about ballast and you talk about, I want it to fit in the garage, and it's like it's going to take all sorts of campers to fit into everybody's life, and so the ballast isn't that long of a camper. I don't know how long it is. I contacted them, wanted them to let us have one or for a while, and they told me no. So maybe that'll happen in the future. That'd be great if it did, to test one out, but. Cool design that they have, but it is narrower and shorter than an Airstream, so it wouldn't fit our family.
I don't know that they're into the business of making masses of campers. Like they're happy with their clientele and their
Yeah, I think they're over $200,000 too for one. Yep. So it's it's super aerodynamic though. So it's a pop-up camper though too.
It is. So full production should be
end of 2024.
I was going to say end of 2024. Yep.
Which will be interesting to see if they can hit that mark.
Yeah, it will be. But it's it's a brand new startup company, so it's gonna be.
I mean, it's like Rivian. Rivian said 2019 or something like that, and I mean, it took 2022, so that's 3 years after. Not saying that's gonna be the case for them, but
well, and I. Yeah, I
the
hope that it goes
Cybertruck was
faster.
supposed to be out 50 years ago.
50 years ago. Come on now. Can't wait to take it for an Ike towing test. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, 18 feet would probably work in a lot of people's campers, but Charles, I think it's full on designed for boondocking. You have 3,000 watt hours of
That's
solar.
the thing that we keep seeing is people's like, no boondocking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's because you can go out.
It's 80 kilowatt hour battery pack.
And like, people are pulling a reflection. People are pulling a giant fifth wheel. People are pulling like every type of camper out to these boondocking locations, and they're fine. Like, it is set low to the ground, but I don't know that I would say that it's, I didn't see it in person, but it's going to, like, I don't think it's much lower than an Airstream, is it? To the ground? Yeah.
No, and look at the promo stuff, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
They took it to pretty remote places, and they were surprised at how, how well it did on those.
Yeah.
So I keep seeing that. I don't understand how it's not a boondocking.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to get your 7 days of air conditioning off of it, unless maybe you can, because you'll have full
80 kilowatt hour battery
with 3,000 watts of solar, so you're going to be able to refresh that battery no matter where you are.
Yeah, it might not be able to run the AC constantly,
yeah.
but what camper can
Yeah.
do? Like, I think I saw, I don't know. It is what it is.
I really think that. I think people are going to be surprised by its boondocking capabilities. I think you look at it and you see this beautiful, thing, and so you're like, oh, that's for fancy people that don't want to go out
to
boondocking.
the expensive RV park.
But when you boil down to it, like, it is what it's built for. Like, they want you to be able to haul your equipment for doing that.
Yeah.
They want you to be able to take your electric vehicle out boondocking with you and charge that off of the camper. They want you to, because there's so many, so only in mild weather too. That's another thing that I'm seeing, and I really think that it's going to do relatively well in most. I think extreme cold is going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah, who goes camping in extreme cold?
Ice fishermen. It's not an ice fishing. But I think that when
Canadians.
I don't even think Canadians do.
No, I'm joking.
We'll ask
Our friend
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah, we'll ask Andy. But I think that it looks beautiful on the outside. So, but when you start digging into the details of it, it is a boondocking. That's what they built it for, right? That's why the mirror comes up on the back, is because they wanted you to be able to have an outdoor shower if you wanted to. Yeah. Like, you were in a cabin with an outdoor shower. Yeah. So if that's what you want, because you're out boondocking, that's why that back one opens.
Bye,
David. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, and some people are probably like, don't you need to take your kid to soccer? It's spring break, and we don't have soccer this evening. So.
If you joined us before, that would have been funny.
Yeah, somebody's like, hey, should you go to soccer now? But no, so it's built for boondocking. And that's part of the reason why I'm excited about it, because there's been places where we're like, okay, let's go boondock here. And then we're like, it's going to be hard to charge the car and boondock. Like, we could have done it. We could have made it happen. We could have made it work. But it's going to be way more convenient to be able to charge the car off of the camper. So,
so let's break it down. Like, a typical camper comes off the line with, like, basically one car battery. And so this is rough math, sorry, but that's about 1,000 watts or 1 kilowatt hour, 1,000 watt hours or 1 kilowatt hour of storage energy. Mm-hmm. So this has 80 times that. Mm-hmm. So, or 40 for the essential.
Yeah.
So You have plenty of energy. And ours has roughly about 8 kilowatt hours in our camper. That's because I added that.
A good chunk of money on top of that to add it.
Yeah, it was roughly about, well, it was $2,400, but then I had to install the inverter. Like, I probably spent a good $5-6 grand on it just for that. And you can't even run both air conditioners off of that. You can run one AC. And with that amount of...
No solar on the roof yet.
Yeah, and with that amount of energy in those batteries, we can maybe run the AC for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just... I don't know. That's just a large battery to have with you.
Yeah.
And they need that for the assist drive more than the boondocking aspect. So
yeah.
That's why I go back to what I was talking about earlier. It'll be interesting if they just don't have an assist drive one for cheaper and a smaller battery pack, and you know it's still 3 times more aerodynamic, and you know, you don't need that large of a battery pack, to be honest, unless if you're doing the assist
to get an improvement.
Then
and you know, you can say, oh well, you're towing all of this extra weight around. Well, the aerodynamics of it, like even if you didn't use the assist, like even the aerodynamics of it, like I think you could go still even further than our Airstream is, like, you know, even with the weight of the batteries. Like the weight of the batteries is not
I don't,
just because of how aerodynamics it is.
That's not even a question.
And well, people have just made like, oh, you're dragging around all this extra weight. Well, but it's so aerodynamic, it just pretty much negates it. Like it doesn't matter. So somebody's at 19 degrees Fahrenheit with 30 mile an hour winds right now. I'm guessing that that's probably not going to be a spot for the Lightship, but that's going to be you're in a definitely. It looks like it looks like a reflection fifth wheel. So that one is rated for 4 seasons. So
yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah.
Yes. So
sounds fun. I'd love to be out camping.
Yep. So Charles was asking if the cooking and the fridge were going to be gas, and it is all electric.
Yep.
And
induction.
But again, people worry about going to all electric in a traditional camper because the limitation is your batteries, right?
Yeah.
You don't have enough batteries. But with an 80 kilowatt hour battery, like, that's not a problem.
Exactly.
And like even with the 3,000 watts of solar on the roof, you're almost pulling in a you know, enough to run that stuff, like just flat out if you had a bright sunny day. So, but yeah, yep, induction cooktop and a fancy. So the microwave is why am I blanking out on the word right now?
Convection.
Convection.
It is.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I didn't see it on the specs, but I know that when we were talking. Like,
I don't know the answer to that.
I think it is, but I would assume that it.
Yeah, it looked pretty fancy, so I imagine it's convection.
Is it automatically opened?
Yeah, so, they had 2-drawer refrigerator and then 1-drawer freezer.
Yeah.
You see that more in boating.
Yes. I was going to say it had a very, very boat-like feel on the inside, really, which is cool. It's different.
Yeah, and the dishwasher and I could just envision, like, with that window opening up campsite, like just being able to pass things out to you or whatever, super easy. Like I don't know. I hope that definitely is around because that's just beautiful and awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool because you have your. I mean, you could even like set up your food right there on that counter and like like it just and they put it all on campsite, like they thought about all that stuff, you know, which sometimes when I am like you go and walk into a camper and you just turn around and walk back out because it has like a flat wall to the camping side and you're like, why can't I see out the camping side? So because I mean, I know that potentially your view could be on the other side of your trailer, but if at all possible, I'm going to aim my door towards the view because when I walk out of my door, I want to see the beautiful stuff that's surrounding it. And that was really something that they, talked about in October when we saw them, was like that they want you to be able to go and see your surroundings and see the nature and be in nature, because that's what camping's about, right? Going out and getting into nature and seeing the beautiful things that our beautiful land and country has to offer us. And so and you can definitely see that in all the windows and everything.
Yeah,
so,
I would agree.
Yeah, it's
I hope to see, I want to see more people do tours of it and reviews and talk to them. So I definitely hope that happens. I was hoping to see Kyle Connor be able to do one, because I know he was showing up there. He showed up on the last day, and I saw that they didn't let him. I was kind of disappointed in that myself, because I wanted to see Kyle Connor's take. He's more of a EV enthusiast and understands all the motor and battery and all that stuff. So yeah, I was disappointed. I was really looking forward to seeing his take on it. And so I called him right after that when I saw that on Twitter and talked to him for a while about it. And it's just, I hope that changes and they actually allow him to do something on it, because he's got a different take on it. He like I said, understands all that stuff. So he's a very intelligent person when it comes to that stuff. He knows, he's been doing this way longer than us and does a lot more of it, and so he knows what questions to ask and all that stuff, and potentially what they have coming down the pipe for production and stuff like that. We don't know how to ask those, or I don't even know what questions to ask on that.
Yeah.
So
so
I will be interested to see when he puts out a video on it.
I read through some of the comments after Kyle posted that or whatnot, and some people obviously making comments like red flags, blah blah blah, but they're being sketch or whatnot, and I really don't honestly think that's their intention. I think that it's really still really early in this phase for them. If from where they were at in the process in October to having a fully built unit right now is crazy. Yeah. They have been, I don't think they've slept. When they said they were announcing it and then said that they were going to be at South by Southwest with an actual Lightship, I was like, what? Yeah. How did they do that? So I think they're just still, it's really early in the process, but I think that they knew that to get people to understand it and to love it and to want it, they were going to have to physically have one.
Yeah, and the reality is, too, they need deposits. Obviously, the financials is going to be a huge part of it. They need to show the product so then people can put deposits down. And so then they can go after more investors and things like that. And so it's really, that's my take. I don't know if that's what it is, but if you look back on other, new EV companies, that's kind of the process that you take. And so I guess that's what I'm basing my thoughts on with that. And so they need, I would imagine, I don't know if they need more investors, but they...
Kilowatts has arrived. He missed everything. You did. And if it was a normal... please repeat. Okay, well, so everybody, we have to start from the beginning.
Because Kilowatts needs to know.
But...
he got to drive the Nikola truck. What the world, man?
Steve's jealous. That would be fun.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So then we could have a fifth wheel behind that thing, anything we wanted. Doesn't matter.
All of it, anything. But you still would.
And his dog got a ride in it too. I'm jealous of the dog.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we haven't covered about the. Okay, so we talked about the cooking and all that stuff. So the storage. The modular storage and stuff. How did the build quality feel like? That's one question I was going to ask.
Yeah, so on the inside and the outside, all that stuff, literally automotive type of feel to it. It's really sturdy. I could just imagine these things lasting for a very long time. All that fit and finish of everything, how the windows are, flush, seamless with the outside, and they did have a gap in there. So I wonder if they will be able to put blinds and stuff in there, so that would help with reducing some, transfer of heat and cool. And so I just think, the fit and finish, like even the seats and all that stuff, like it was just like super nice. And I just, I didn't notice, much that was wrong. Maybe like some of the cabinets or stuff, they still needed to do some, work with that, like the drawers or something. Some of them, I'm sure you can see it in the video, were a little misaligned and stuff like that. But like the countertops are super nice, and the couch and the dinette and all that stuff. Oh, the actual table that you sat on that was like raised and lowered for the bed. That was just so solid. Like that's what we always run into with all of our campers, is they wiggle.
You didn't answer him on TikTok, so now he's come to YouTube to get an answer from you.
I did. Oh, the actual. No, I didn't. Yeah, I tried talking them into it multiple times, but they would not. And I told them, if you just get raw footage of that, it would blow up on the internet. They didn't care. But that's, if you get that video before me, Ryan, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
I know it's coming to your location, but
yeah.
Come on. Anyways, the fit and finish felt really good.
Really good. Well, it's I mean, you could tell that they've put a lot of a lot of thought into it, and a lot of using the space well, not wasting any space. Yeah. There aren't any slides, but it still seemed like there were multiple people in there moving around each other just fine. So, I mean, I think they've done. Does the Lightship come with a washer and dryer? No, but you can do it to get a dishwasher. So
washer and dryer.
I mean, I would love it eventually.
A washer and dryer? What do you need a washer and dryer for?
Okay.
Anyways,
you always say that.
Like, we're gonna cram everything into a 27-foot trailer. Like, okay, we're gonna have a parking garage for our electric vehicle in the 27-foot trailer.
Have you ever seen like the Class A's that it like opens up and then they're like their little like Porsches in there?
I just hate about the internet. It's like, well, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. It's like, okay, well, we have this 27-foot, 8.5 wide, and we're gonna cram everything into it. It's like you want a 5-bedroom, 2-bath house in your 27-foot camper.
Hey, maybe one day they will have it in the electric campers, right?
Geez,
I think they will.
I shouldn't go off on that, but sorry.
Oh, a water filtration system? Do you know? I don't know.
They said something, and I can't remember. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, they're talking about being able to do some of that stuff. In the current model, I don't think that it had that. So
yeah.
But we did talk about some of that stuff because of the capabilities of it actually being able to boondock or be out in the wild for so long. Like, thinking about that, like, all you need is water at that point. And so if you'd be able to, just they already make systems that you can throw a hose into a stream and pull it out and filter it. So I think that'd be pretty easy to incorporate into something like that.
Yeah. But. So we had a couple questions. More a dishwasher or more storage?
Katie always wants more storage, so that would be my thought on
probably
that.
So they do say, and let's be honest, but I don't know, the Lightship might change that, because we always were like, a boondocking setup isn't super important to us, because the most we're going to do it is for like a night or two, because we have 3 kids with water consumption and all that stuff. Like, it's just not, there's no reason for us to try to extend it out, because it's just going to,
I think we've done like 3-4 days is the max.
And
And we did pretty good.
You're washing your hands outside in a separate tub. Like there's all that
I'm
stuff
bougie.
going
I
on.
like to shower.
Yeah. So I am. Stop. I'm not concerned. So technically speaking, the dishwasher should be more. It should conserve more water than.
Yeah, there's some studies that have been done on it that it does consume less than just washing
by hand.
Yeah.
So if we were going to boondock for a long period of time, I might say I want to do the dishwasher so that I can conserve water.
Yeah.
But I haven't really ever fully thought about it because we just figure that we're going to be someplace with hookups most of the time. So, okay, there's more questions popping up. Did they have size on the tanks? No, nothing yet. But more storage means you can bring more
That's
crap.
very true,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the further we get into life, the more we're like, we just need less stuff in our life, right? You need a 60
I agree, Daryl.
Yes. Let's crowdfund that one. We're gonna get a Tesla semi and pull like a gigantic fifth wheel or something.
This is. Anyways,
What?
I love the internet.
I would love to do the 60-foot camper. How long is a travel
You can't get it into
trailer?
anything. Too,
No, you can't.
Yeah. So 27 foot is pretty good
And
size.
actually, now that I think about that, is 27 feet on purpose because of the sizes of national parks?
We should ask them.
Because
there's a certain amount of feet
there's
on your trailer that can't get into national parks.
I think 27 feet gets you into the biggest number. So there's some that are like under 20 feet, like they're crazy small. And then, our Airstream puts us still in a good chunk at 30 feet. And then we have so anything over 30 feet, you can only get into a very small amount of national park campgrounds.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure
the
that was
27
thought
feet
through.
could be a number that's on purpose. So,
Concur.
Yeah, because it is cool to go in there and you are boondocking and you are, more national parks are getting chargers like at their entrances and stuff now too. I think Rivian's putting some in some places, which is fantastic, and we love that. But to be able to use your solar at those places and charge your EV would be super cool.
Yeah.
So, but okay, we've been on for about an hour now. Okay, we were a few minutes late, so don't get mad at us. But
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying something else.
Nothing. I didn't. We can end this.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for our little bit longer live stream tonight, and we will hopefully be back. I don't think we have any schedule changes for next week after spring break starts back up.
We may have to really get.
So you can get into some national park campgrounds with a 45-foot RV, but a very small percent. I want to say it's like less than 10%. There's a whole list. Just Google it and you'll see, but it's a very small portion over 30 foot that you can get into. So
yeah, we don't know specifics on that, but there is.
But I've looked it up like when we were looking at other campers and stuff. So
exactly.
It's a small
because we had a
portion.
37-foot one at one point, and
but you didn't recap everything for me. How about we'll call you and we'll recap.
We'll see you at the meeting, okay?
So,
I don't know if you saw what I messaged him.
Oh no.
The Ryan meetup.
Oh.
I thought it was funny. He probably doesn't, but I don't care what he thinks.
Steve thinks he's really funny. It's fine.
It's only what I think.
But anyway. Any other questions you guys have, be sure to let us know in the comments, and we'll try to answer them if you come up with any, if you're here after the live stream. If you're joining us on the live stream for the first time, you haven't ever seen us before, we're Katie and Steve, and you should hit the subscribe button because we like to adventure in our electric vehicles and tow trailers with our electric vehicles. We might be crazy, but that is what we enjoy doing. So what is with you all of a sudden? You're being a goof. Anyway, everybody have a good night, and we will see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Hit that button again.